Hello again, and welcome to another action-packed, exciting hour of the Smoky Mountain Wrestling Rewatch Along Project. This is podcasting the way it used to be and the way you like it. This show is a production of the Something Else Podcasting Network, and it is episode number 131 of Smoky Mountain Wrestling from July 30th, 1994, taped who knows when at who knows where. My name is Arya, and joining me, as always, I'm not sure. Is the winter is coming to my NXT takeover. It's Trey. Trey, how the hell you doing today?
Uh, Fucking shitty. How you doing?
Slightly better than that.
That's good.
It's not been a great week for the podcast hosts this week, but hopefully, we're going to be a fun show here to the best of our abilities. This may be the shortest show we've ever done, but I guess we'll see how off the rails we can go here because there is next to nothing to talk about on this week's show. There are some new promos. However, remember last week when they told us that this week there'd be a six-person tag with the Rock and Roll Express and Bambi versus Primetime Brian Lee, Chris Candido, and Tammy Fytch? That does not happen. Not only does it
Uh,
not happen, it doesn't even get mentioned.
I didn't remember that, so I guess I didn't miss it.
No. And I mean, I don't know. I didn't watch next week's episode yet, but it's possible that it's on next week's show instead, and they just, you know, they misspoke at the end of last week's show. But
It's
yeah, it got to like 37 minutes into the show, and it's only a 44-minute show, and I'm sitting here like, this match is like really fucking short, I guess. And then it just never happened.
it's like
And to be
Mid
honest,
South where it's just canonically every week is 2 weeks split, 2 weeks split into, or 1 week split into two.
yeah. Now, in interest of fairness, we're going to end the show with, a bunch of really good promos. So I'm not crying that we didn't get the match, but, it would have been nice to break up the monotony of, hey, here's what happened that's leading into Night of the Legends, and then here's a new promo. It would have been nice to break that up a little bit. But
Well,
I, I'm sure we'll go off on tangents throughout this show, like Saturday's John Cena's last match against the Ring General. And according to reports that came out today, as we're recording this, they're going to go first, and the match is going to have as long as they want. Which,
yeah,
good, bad, or otherwise, I guess.
it's the way to do it.
Um, I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's the way to do it.
Yep. And I know we talked about it on Tuesday, but the story is that Gunther plans on making John Cena give up. And, the guy that never gives up, he never quits. Will he submit in his last match ever?
Nah,
I, I think we can all agree that not a whole lot of us are seeing that happen.
no.
But now, I don't watch WWE anymore. I know you've given up a long time ago. I think you've said the last time you watched was WrestleMania, and you got Peacock specifically to watch the Rumble in WrestleMania. Are you going to watch Cena's last match?
I, I'm not saying I'll never end up watching it eventually, but probably not going to watch it this weekend.
It's fine. Um, all right. So let's dive into the show because we can't end our 10-minute episode if we don't start our 10-minute episode. Let's go to the intro with Les Thatcher, and I hope you're all sitting down because you'll never believe who the guest host on today's Smoky Mountain Wrestling show is going to be.
Hello, wrestling fans. I'm Les Thatcher, and welcome to a special edition of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. As we've been telling you for the last several months, this Friday night, August the 5th, in the Knoxville Civic Coliseum is indeed a very special and rare occasion. It's the celebration of the history of wrestling in Knoxville. We've dubbed it the Night of Legends. This program will be a special leading up to this coming Friday night, showing you all the great matches and all the great legends will be in attendance. And here to help me host this special event, Jim Cornette.
Oh, that's right. And our job today, Les Thatcher, is to make sure that everybody knows what's going to go on Friday night, what they're going to see at the Night of Legends, both wrestling matches and Hall of Fame inductions. First of all, I expect to see you in a tuxedo. Here's a couple of bucks. Well, make sure to save me a good table.
Not as tight as
because Friday night, it's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a lot of you people to see stars that you've heard about but never seen before in person. And it's also going to be an opportunity for me to rule Smoky Mountain Wrestling, because all of my men are involved in some top competition right there. And as a matter of fact, without further ado, once again, the Smoky Mountain Heavyweight Champion is the Dirty White Boy, but he is going to undergo a challenge Friday night from the fabulous Freebird himself, Terry Bam Bam Gordy, the cornerstone of the Freebird tag team, and he's a rough customer. Everybody in Knoxville knows him. Let's take a look at Terry Gordy in action, and then we'll hear from the participants.
All right, so that's the intro, and of course they lead into the preview of the Smoky Mountain title match, and it really shows you just where they are at this point in a post-Jake Roberts world, because it's like the entire build to this match gets 50 seconds total. And I get Terry Gordy hasn't been on the show since like the first couple episodes, and there's no real story behind this, but it's like it really shows just that White Boy right now has nothing. You know, he has no program. He has nothing going on.
But we did get to see Gordy wrestle Kenta Kobashi this week.
Yeah, yes, we did. And I'm going to bet, and I'm going to go on a limb here, and I don't think I've ever seen that match, like the whole actual match, but I'm going to go on a limb here and say that that match was better than any match we're going to see at Night of the Legends.
It appeared to be Miracle Violence connection against Misawa and Kobashi. So, yeah, might be better than every match on Night of the Legends put together.
You think it'll be better than the Legends tag match with Cowboy Bob Orton and Dick Slater versus Ronnie Garvin and the Mongolian Stomper?
Okay, I am a big Bob Orton fan, and I don't know. I think that match might be enjoyable.
Oh yeah, I bet it will be. I was just doing the recording for the audio book of my first book, and I just finished the WrestleMania 3 chapter and had the Bob Orton and Don Morocco versus Can-Tam Connection match. And for a 4-minute opener, like that's like one of the more fun 4-minute openers you're ever going to see in wrestling.
Yeah, Cowboy Bob Orton was a hell of a hand.
He was. If he was wrestling today, he'd be teaming with Jason Hotch and John Schuyler. Unless I got their names backwards. I don't think I did. So I'm going to play Les and Jim Cornette talking about the Thrillseekers versus the Heavenly Bodies, more so because Les pops me for perhaps the first and only time ever in his broadcasting career.
All right, we're back with our special edition of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. And Jim, as you mentioned before the break, the Heavenly Bodies will be in attendance on Friday night in Knoxville. The original Heavenly Bodies, Al and Don Green.
No, I'm not talking about Don and Al Green. They were a great tag team in their day, but I'm talking about my Heavenly Bodies. The new improved industrial strength Heavenly Bodies, Dr. Tom Pritchard and Jimmy Del Rey, because after all, Smoky Mountain Wrestling and the World Wrestling Federation, they got together, they banded together, and they forced the Heavenly Bodies to come back to take on the Thrillseekers. If the Thrillseekers had not shoved my face in that cake and started this whole predicament, well, as a matter of fact, instead of me telling you about it, here's exactly what happened from the time that the Thrillseekers made their fatal mistake.
So, yes, Les popped me the way he's like, Don and Al Green will be there. Yeah. So, from here, we're going to go, and this is lengthy, but in my opinion, it's worth it. It's one more Jim Cornette and the Heavenly Bodies promo. They taped all of them that we've seen at the WWF production studio, probably at a TV taping. And this one, I really like this one. It's about 3.5 minutes, but let's play that here, and then we'll be back to discuss it.
Are ready for the Heavenly Bodies. Oh, the Thrillseekers are going to have a major win over a major team, major names. I'm sick and tired of all that. Thrillseekers, I told you that you were going to rue the day that you humiliated me, rue the day that you embarrassed me on television. Sure, those guys that jumped you in that parking lot, they got a little bit of revenge, but not nearly as much as I want. No, because I'm greedy, because I like to have everything, see? And I don't like people standing in my way of getting it. And I like to make sure that I can pay the beef and the muscle to walk over anybody that gets in my way. And I don't see any reason in the world for a team like the Heavenly Bodies, who's been everywhere, done everything, been to the top of the mountain, dominated Smoky Mountain Wrestling, been in the World Wrestling Federation, done everything and beat everybody. I don't see any reason in the world for them to roll over and play dead for a couple of dumb, stinking Canada. Whatever kind of war have y'all ever been in, huh? You got no bass in your voice. You've never fought anybody and done nothing. You're a whole nation of sissies. And Jimmy, do you see any reason for you guys to roll over and play dead just because they got a big bunch of press clippings backing them up, huh?
I don't think so, Jimbo. You know, a couple of Canucks, Canadians, whatever, a couple of sissies as far as I'm concerned. Hey, my cousin and I have been all over the world. Japan, Europe, Asia, it doesn't matter. We're on top of the ladder, boys. You mess with him, you mess with us. We're back, and we're gonna stomp a mud hole in you.
Hey, hosers, let me just let you in on a little secret here. You are looking at the premier tag team, not only of Smoky Mountain Wrestling, but the entire wrestling world. Let me just run down a list of names for you. Let's take the Armstrong brothers. Let's take the Fantastics. Let's take the Steiner brothers. The big Steiner brothers are going to come in and destroy the Heavenly Bodies. It wasn't done. Let's take, I don't know, the Furnace brothers. The big Knoxville Smoky Mountain Heroes. They couldn't get the job done either. And last but not least, the Rock and Roll Express. Yeah, we took the Rock and Roll Express. They might have won one war, one battle. We won the war when it came right down to it. They won one stinking match. But you asked the Rock and Roll Express, you asked Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, what it was really like when they were in the ring with the Heavenly Bodies. They might have won one match, but one match don't make it all, man.
And let me just say this to you, Thrillseekers. Like I said, you were going to rue the day that you embarrassed me. You were going to rue the day that you humiliated me, but I'll tell you something else you're gonna do, brother. You're gonna rue the stinking day that you went to Smoky Mountain Wrestling and had them meddle in this. You're gonna rue the day that they went to the World Wrestling Federation and forced the Heavenly Bodies to come back. We don't need no force to come back to Smoky Mountain Wrestling, but we want it on our terms. We don't like people telling us what to do. You're gonna curse your mother for the day she gave birth to you, and you're gonna curse yourselves for the day that you ever heard the name Jim Cornette. And you are gonna curse the day that you came to Smoky Mountain Wrestling, because the real deal's taking place now. The Heavenly Bodies are coming back. And Thrillseekers, you may have beat a few teams and done a few things and impressed a couple of prepubescent little females. But brother, when you get in the ring with the Heavenly Bodies, you're going to have to fight and scratch and dig and claw and do everything that you can think of doing and anything that you've ever read about anybody else doing to another human being just to keep your career, your health, and your sanity intact. This thing's going to be a Chinese fire drill. And Thrillseekers, when it's over with, we're going to find out if you've got the guts, the heart, and the desire to be on top of the mountain, or if you're going to be just another couple of fancy-looking stepping stones, brother. And I think I know which one it is.
Okay. So a roux is a fundamental thickening agent in cooking made from equal parts fat, like butter, oil, or drippings, and flour cooked together to form a paste used to thicken sauces, soups, and gravies. So I don't know what that has to do with the Thrillseekers versus the Heavenly Bodies, but much soup will be had this Saturday night at the Night of the Legends.
Isn't a Chinese fire drill where, like, a car stops at a stoplight and everybody gets out and switches places and then drives on? What does that have to do with the Thrillseekers versus the Heavenly Bodies?
Perhaps they're all going to, like, change their rental cars up.
Are they going to do you think that Cornette and the Heavenly Well Done Bodies switched places in the rental car after they beat up the Thrillseekers?
I think it's very possible. Now, the one thing I've liked is I believe they've done 3 of these promos with the Heavenly Bodies, and they all follow the same format. The Heavenly Bodies and Jim Cornette joke around a little bit. They cut a promo calling them sissies and whatever else. And then it just breaks down into a good 45 to 60 seconds of Jim Cornette being the best promo in wrestling and cutting an insane, money promo for, I mean, it's not a money match, but it's an important match on the card. It's one of the bigger, pure storyline matches they've got. And I guess it's almost, and each time it's almost like 2 entirely different promos being cut in one, but I'm really liking it. And I thought this was a really good go-home promo by the Heavenly Bodies and Jim Cornette.
That Jim Cornette fella, it turns out, can hype a wrestling match.
Turns out he's pretty good at talking, you
Yeah.
know? Now, it's funny because while Jimmy Del Rey was calling Canadian sissies, I'm like, didn't he lose to Bret Hart like right before WrestleMania 10? And I looked it up, and actually, Tom Pritchard's the one that lost to Bret Hart right before WrestleMania 10. But Jimmy Del Rey does do a job to Bret on the April 29th, 1995 edition of WWF Superstars. So maybe, just maybe, Tom should have clued in his cousin that not all Canadians are sissies.
Hashtag not all Canadians.
They were going to go all the way and say hashtag not all Canadians are sissies.
I gotta I gotta look up Bret Hart versus Jimmy Del Rey. That sounds like a Lulu.
Yep. Well, you have like 21 more days to watch it on the cock, I think, because all the WWE stuff, well, most of the WWE stuff right now says that it's leaving at the end of the month. There is some stuff that doesn't have that listed, so that's really weird, but I guess that is a story to keep track of.
I already don't have Peacock.
Oh yeah, yeah, because you got it on Black Friday. Well, I'm not I'm sure I'm just, spoiling things here for you, but there's this great website called XWT and XWT Classics where you can find almost anything,
The first rule of XWT classes is you don't talk about XWT classics.
more or less. Did I ever tell you how I uploaded stuff on there and got a warning because I was only uploading stuff in order to increase my ratio? That was what they told me.
Hmm.
And my response to them was not, well, duh, but oh well. All right, so after the Heavenly Bodies cut their promo, we did get a rebuttal from the Thrillseekers. And I will say it sounds better. I wasn't as pissed off listening to it as I was watching it. Because Chris Jericho, in addition to being a thrill seeker, is an attention seeker. But let's go to the promo and you, the audience, listen and tell us what you think, what you thought of the promo.
August 5th in Knoxville. Heavenly Bodies, you get ready. Our first chance to avenge what you did to us in that parking lot. It's going to be the changing of the guard. For 10 years, the Rock and Roll Express has been the thorn in Jim Cornette's side. And come August 5th, we're going to become the boot in his ass because we're coming for you, boys.
That's right, Lance. You know, Heavenly Bodies, life is full of decisions. What school do you go to? What job do you go for? What girl do you go for? But when you made the decision to attack us in the parking lot, that was the worst decision you've ever made in your entire lives. Because now, Heavenly Bodies, you're in the WWF. You're big stars now. You don't need Smoky Mountain Wrestling anymore. But when Smoky Mountain Wrestling and WWF officials made you come back to face us, that was the day that we love, and that's the day that we can't look forward to. And that day starts on August 5th at the Knoxville Coliseum. We get one whole week to come against you, Heavenly Bodies, and avenge what you did to us. Because I'm still sore in the back of my head. Lance is still sore on his face. But we're not going to forget what you did to us.
All right, so relatively speaking, the promo was fine. It was obviously not Jim Cornette and the Heavenly Bodies, but it was a fine promo. What was driving me crazy was while Lance is talking, and Lance is already starting to develop the Lance Storm, I'm pointing at the camera while talking thing. Jericho is like wildly waving his arms around, making pantomime motions to the camera, basically taking all the attention from his partner cutting his serious promo. And I really didn't like that.
Are you implying that Chris Jericho was a corn dog?
I'm implying that he is a ham and he's an attention seeker in addition to a thrill seeker. Now, I guess we'll get to it in 2 weeks, but yeah, this is the match that Jericho breaks his arm practicing, a shooting star press before the match. And understanding where everything is right now, I both understand why Jericho thought he had to do a shooting star press or something huge in this match, and also why he really didn't have to.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't the match to do a shooting star press, but I could see why, because this was like the first big match that they're getting, and he wanted to make an impression.
It's not that it's not the match to do a shooting star press. It's that this isn't the fucking territory. Like
That too.
how many times has Candido done crazy dives to like no reaction?
Pretty much. I think he had a reaction like once or twice, and that's it.
I don't know. It
Mhm.
maybe if they had tried to do another convoluted Thrillseekers double team, it would have been even worse.
There you go. I honestly don't even remember the finish of the match, so I guess it'll be a surprise to me when it happens. I'll be honest, I don't know the finish of most of the matches. Like, I mean, I could hazard a guess who wins, but I can't tell you the finish of almost any match on that show. So that's going to be different for me, I guess.
Isn't there some match where Jericho ends up looking like fucking Carrie, like he bleeds a gusher?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So up next, we get the preview of the tag team title situation because this is the one, like the 6-man tag. This is one of those matches that they are basically building up 2 matches instead of one, because we have the not only the Night of the Legends, but Fire on the Mountain on Saturday, which is the hair versus hair match, where either Tammy Fytch or Ricky Morton are getting their heads shaved, allegedly. Let's go to a promo here with Tammy Fytch and The Rock and his partner, Roll Express.
Coming to an end this weekend, August the 5th, the Night of the Legends in Knoxville. I have to be handcuffed to Ricky Gibson, the genetic defect himself. Right. And then on August 6th, in Johnson City and Fire on the Mountain, then what? Then my hair is up against Ricky Morton's hair in a hair versus hair match for the titles.
I've cut no hair.
You know, I've come to the conclusion, everybody is just so jealous of Tammy Fytch. Everybody's just so jealous of me because they know I'm at the top.
That's right.
And they want to be right where I am, right where I'm standing, but they can't. They can't do this. So they're going to try to do everything possible to humiliate me.
That's right.
And make my life miserable. So maybe I'll step down. But no.
Not a chance.
I know one thing. Rock and Roll Express on Friday night, Night of the Legends, they want to beat my boys so bad for the belts. Why? Not just because they want the belts, but because they want that advantage. They want to go to Fire on the Mountain August 6th in Johnson City, and they want the advantage of being the champions. Well, boys, let me tell you this. You're not going to win, and I'm not going to lose my hair.
This Friday night, Knoxville, Tennessee, the Night of Legends. Robert and I are wrestling Chris Candido and Brian Lee for the Smoky Mountain Tag Team titles. And Tammy Fytch is handcuffed to the legend himself, Ricky Gibson. But the following Saturday night, we're in Johnson City, Tennessee, with Fire on the Mountain. My hair against Tammy Fytch's hair. Well, this Friday night, we're coming to win the tag team titles, and Saturday night, we're coming to cut some hair.
All righty. So nothing revolutionary about either of these promos. They're both good go-home promos. They put over the stipulations. They put over both matches, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if we still have new tag team champions. We'll see who's bald come Sunday. We'll see what happens, Trae. And now you've kind of figured out that there is a screw job. Have you figured out what happens yet?
No.
Okay, good. I really, really don't want you to find out until we watch the shows.
Okay.
You know. With that said, I think I'll know when you do watch the show because I think I'll hear you screaming from Texas.
Exciting. Can't wait.
It's always good to hear Trae scream from thousands of miles away. So up next, we got an extended Night of the Legends update. They re-aired several of the history segments, but they were also honest about why some of the people aren't going to be there. Notably, that Professor Boris Malenko is ill and he's in the hospital currently, and that Joe LeDuc, he's MIA. They're trying to find him, but no one's been able to get in touch with him. But if they do get in touch with him, of course they'll try to get him to come in. Now Boris, I don't know if you looked this up because I did. Boris actually, Yeah, Boris dies on September 1st.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he gets out of the hospital, but if he does, it's not for very long.
Ron Fuller's just busy, by the way.
Yes, he apparently runs a couple of minor league hockey teams.
Yes, that is what he did after wrestling.
Yeah. Now, notably, there's a few others that won't be there for WCW reasons, like Robert Fuller, Jimmy Golden, and Kevin Sullivan. Now, you might be wondering, because, eagle-eyed people would know that Terry Funk was in WCW at this time. He had a contract that basically allowed him to do whatever the hell he wanted.
As he should.
Yes. It's as he should, and also kind of weird. This was also around the time where Mick Foley had put in his notice, and so Eric Bischoff was letting him do whatever the hell he wanted as long as he came back to lose to Sullivan at the pay-per-view. So Cactus is wrestling in every indie you see at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah. So let's see here. Oh, by the way, I did stop to rewatch the Ron Wright video. I don't know what you did, but
yes.
Otherwise, just fast forward through the rest of it.
I will always watch the Ron Wright clip.
I tell you what, I'm not in charge of chairs, Ron. He always sounded like a 60-year-old man.
Prime Ron Wright footage is my Library of Alexandria.
Yep. By the way, though, I actually did watch the feature on Sam Bass as well, because other than the fact that I knew he was Jerry Lawler's manager, I really didn't know much about Sam Bass, and so that was nice. And his wife Jody will be at the Night of the Legends to accept his induction into the Knoxville Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Whenever people today start crying about booking because you don't understand, I for real don't like this. People hated Sam Bass so much that they fucking popped when they announced that he died.
Yep. If you thought people were dicks when Hogan died, man, oh man, Matty, you would have really found people to be dicks when Sam Bass died. And if I recall correctly, he's not the only heel to have died that caused the fans to cheer.
I'm sure he's not.
All right. So from here, we're going to get a brief talk about the strongman match with Doug Furnas and Killer Kyle, which is going to segue into a discussion about Double Trouble.
A great array of stars on Friday night, a lot of great events. And one of those great events, a strongman match.
Oh, yeah.
Knoxville and University of Tennessee's own Doug Furnas against Killer Kyle in a strongman match, Jim.
Yeah, they call Doug Furnas the world's strongest man, but hey, if he went to University of Tennessee, the only thing strong about him is his breath. And Killer Kyle Friday night is going to prove to Doug Furnas just exactly who the most powerful man in wrestling is, because if it ain't Kyle, it's got to be Bruiser Bedlam. But it sure ain't Doug Furnas, I promise you that.
Well, something I think that's pretty close to you that's coming up on Friday night is the first half of this weekend's Double Trouble.
Double Trouble, twin six-man tags in the first half, may be the most dangerous half, because this Friday night is going to be a Coward Waves the Flag match, and the rules are real simple. There's a corner man on each side of the ring. I'm the corner man for my team. Ron Wright, that old decrepit old fossil, is going to be waving the flag on the other side. And the match can't end by anybody being pinned or submitting or disqualified. No, there's none of that. The match can only end when that corner man takes that white flag he's got and waves it, signifying that his men have enough. It's Dory and Terry Funk, and it's Bruiser Bedlam on my team, and Bob Armstrong's team, of course, he's the captain. Tracy Smothers, his illegitimate son, and Road Warrior Hawk, a guy that I want to get a hold of real bad to pay him back. I want to pay him back for some things. But let's take a look at how this all got started. It was all a product of Bob Armstrong, me constantly trying to get rid of him as commissioner because he's so crooked. So I brought in Bruiser Bedlam, then Tracy Smothers got involved, then the Funk family became involved, and the whole thing escalated into a full-scale war. Take a look at the tail of the tape.
So I think I know the finish of the Coward Waves the Flag match. What happens is Ron Wright falls into the post or the steps, and then Ron Wright's parents come out of the stands, step over Ron's dead body, and then spend 5 or 10 minutes consulting with a crying Jim Cornette before throwing the towel in. Wait, that doesn't happen on this show, does it?
Ha ha ha.
I just did always find it funny that Stu and Helen just stepped over their son-in-law, who was unconscious for 10 minutes, not caring about it at all, just to take care of their son. Brett really was the favorite.
Who was unconscious? Was it Neidhart or Davey?
It was Davey, because Neidhart was a heel.
I was going to say, either way, the joke is applicable that probably not the first time they've seen him passed out.
Probably not. And Lord knows Diana probably shared some stories about Davey at some point. So, yeah.
Making her look like a hooer.
Well, this is before Diana was a hooer. Diana wasn't a hooer until 1996. Oh, God. So we get a full 6 minutes devoted to the angles that led to the matches being announced, which included the match where the Funks were named the greatest wrestling family of all time when they defeated Scott and Steve Armstrong. I wonder what Brad and Brian have to say about that. I mean, I guess Brad's dead, so he's got no opinion on the matter. But I imagine Brian probably have an opinion or two.
Most of Brian's opinions are pretty stupid.
That is true. Remember how he was, I don't know if he wrote the match, but he was part of the writing of that really bad 2015 Royal Rumble, and they got really pissed off that people didn't like it. It's like, I'm sorry, but you didn't put together a good match. Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
So let's go back to some more Jim Cornette talk with Les, and they're going to pitch the commercial and then come back, and we're going to quote unquote accidentally hear Jim Cornette's real feelings about Road Warrior Hawk.
Videotape right there, Les Thatcher. Who's been winning most of the fights that we've been involved in lately?
Jim, what I see on those tapes is you've bitten off a big hunk of trouble. And in fact, when we come back, we're going to see the steps that Bob Armstrong has taken to see that he gets even with the union. Yeah. We'll be right back.
Telling you, Les, if I'd have known that it was going to be Hawk to begin with, I wasn't going to be signing. He tried to con me. I was telling Les Thatcher's what I was doing, that I would have signed that contract no matter what, no matter who the mystery partner had been. But I still think that Bob Armstrong has hornswoggled the union for this Friday night at the Night of Legends. But don't worry, we are going to get even, because this is going to be the dadgumdest six-man tag that you have ever seen in your life. The first half of Double Trouble, the second half next Saturday night in Johnson City at Fire on a Mountain. And one way or another, it's going to be wild. I promise you that. You better.
It's so silly, but it's still hilarious. Have him come back from a commercial where he's like, oh man, I never would have signed this match if I knew Hawk was involved. Oh, God. So from here, they re-show a bunch more stuff, including Hawk's promo that he taped before, and Ron Wright vowing that he will not wave the flag during the match. And from there, we get what ends up being our final promo of the show. It is a promo with Jim Cornette along with Dory and Terry Funk and Bruiser Bedlam. And Jim Cornette, if we were giving out MVP awards, Jim Cornette will have earned 2 MVPs on this show thanks to this promo. Let's go to that now.
It's this coming weekend, Friday night, August the 5th, the Night of the Legends. It's the Coward Waves the Flag match. That's what they wanted. But then the next night, Saturday, August 6th, Fire on the Mountain in Johnson City. It's the Texas Death Match. That's what we wanted. That's what these men invented. You've got Bruiser Bedlam, the world's most dangerous wrestler. He did put Randy Savage down for the 3 count. You've got 2 legitimate living legends, former world champions, Dory and Terry Funk. The list of men that they've beat goes on and on. And what you've got to do, Bob Armstrong, you and your crew, Tracy Smothers, Road Warrior Hawk, and that old crotchety Ron Wright, who may be the meanest man in the world, but is also the oldest living human. You have got to step in that ring, and you've got to look across the ring at the eyes of the beast. The eye of the tiger? No! These men are leopards, they're cheetahs, they're cats that'll tear your throat out. And that's exactly what's going to happen, because that's what it's going to take. To win the Coward Waves the Flag match, you've got to incapacitate your opponent so bad that corner man, even if he's got a heart blacker than Harlem at midnight, colder than a banker's smile, he'll have to wave that white flag of surrender, because he'll take pity on the shape that you, Bob Armstrong, you, Tracy Smothers, and you, Road Warrior Hawk, are in. And then the following night in a Texas death match, falls don't count. If you pin a man, he's got a rest period and the opportunity to get back up. And the only way the match can be over is when finally, when somebody is beaten down so bad, hurt so bad, experiencing such pain down deep in their gut, that they can't find it in their hearts and in their souls to go on, and they give up. They just roll over and they die, play dead, quit. And I know you, Bob Armstrong, it would hurt you bad to quit. And it would hurt Tracy Smothers bad to quit. And it would hurt Road Warrior Hawk real bad to quit. But that's what's going to happen, because these men's father invented the Texas death match, and they've never lost one when they were both in the ring as a team. Double Trouble, August 5th, Knoxville. Coward waves the flag. August 6th, Fire on the Mountain, Texas death match. And the craziest man in the history of wrestling, Terry Funk, is going to be there too.
Cornette, you don't have to pay me a nickel. You really don't.
You're kidding.
You don't have to come up with any money whatsoever, because I'll tell you one thing for sure, is I want to be in the ring with Bob Armstrong.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, the funniest thing is I look at Bob Armstrong and then I look at Ron Wright and I notice these similarities. I look at Ron Wright's nose and it's got this little piggy look like that. And that's the same way as Bob Armstrong. And then you look at Bob Armstrong, and he's got those pig eyes, and Ron Wright has those pig eyes, and they both got that gaping mouth. Do you suppose that Ron Wright is his illegitimate father? Do you suppose that's where all of this ignorance has originated in Tennessee? Well, I know damn good and well that's where it's coming from. And let me tell you something, Armstrong. You can bring in Hawk. You can bring in tanks. You can bring in guns. Whatever you want to do, it doesn't matter, because we are here and we want your body. I want your body, Bob Armstrong. I want your body. Oh, yes, I do. And why? Because for so many years you have paraded around here and claimed that what you represent is not ignorance, but wrestling ability. So kiss it all goodbye.
Double trouble this weekend.
Terry Funk is a crazy old man.
Terry Funk wants Bob Armstrong's body.
Want your body. I think it's safe to assume that if this show had titles, this episode's title would be I Want Your Body.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yes. This was just great. Like, Dory didn't have to say anything. Bruiser Bedlam didn't have to do anything other than stand there and just look like the badass that Bruiser Bedlam is. This was 80% Jim Cornette, 20% Terry Funk, and it just was great. Chef's kiss, outstanding promo. If you were somehow not sold on this show before this promo, if you didn't buy a fucking ticket before this show, you were buying a ticket now. And if you weren't going to buy a ticket, then nothing was going to get you to buy a ticket to this show.
Have we inducted Jim Cornette into the Something Else Hall of Something Else?
I don't think so. We have 1 second. We have not. So
we should do that. And I mean, it may not be much, but it means more than a FIFA Peace Prize.
Pop. What are we inducting him for?
Being a motor mouth.
Okay. This is our first inductee, by the way, since October 27th, when we inducted Buddy Landell.
We had to make something happen on this show.
Yeah. We haven't inducted anybody, by the way, into the Something Else Hall This Sucks since Kendo the Samurai on October 14th, which
wasn't there somebody that was so bad that we had to invent a new hall for them?
Chick Donovan, the Something Else Hall of fucking Geek, for returning from injury and getting his ass kicked in a fair fight versus manager General Skandor Akbar.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Hans Schroeder, Ed Siegel, the Super Date at the Superdome, the Moondogs, and Prince Karras are our prior inductees into
There you
Something
go.
Else Hall of This Sucks. See, you can't say that we hate on everything. The Something Else Hall of Something Else is at least twice as big as the Something Else Hall of This Sucks.
We're pretty positive.
Okay, not quite. Not quite. There's 11 inductees into the Something Else Hall of Something Else, and only 6 into the Something Else Hall of This Sucks.
But let's induct Kerry Funk into the Something Else Hall of Something Else, and then it'll be double.
So are we going to induct him for saying, I want your body?
For wanting Bob Armstrong's body.
Terry Funk, inducted December 10th, 2025, for wanting Bob Armstrong's body. I hope we remember what that means, although it might be funnier if we don't.
I hope we don't remember what that means.
We're still doing this show in 5 years, and I'm just like, Trey, why did we induct Terry Funk for wanting Bob Armstrong's body?
If you want my body and you think I'm sexy. I don't know the rest of the song.
I have been singing that line too recently, so yeah. So I should probably scroll back up because I scrolled down to my ECW on TNN notes, and you probably don't want to know my thoughts on Dusty Rhodes and Tommy Dreamer versus Steve Corino and Rhino from February 4th, 2000.
Was it better than Dusty Rhodes against Jeff Jarrett in a Fans Revenge strap match?
I would say definitely yes.
Yeah, that checks out.
So the show ended, and Jim Cornette, being the magnanimous heel manager that he is, was worried that Smoky Mountain Wrestling is being too generous, that they're providing too much at Night of the Legends. And he's also talking about how if you bring your ticket stub from the Night of the Legends to Fire on the Mountain, you get $2 off of your ticket.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. I wonder why he would say that, you know.
We'll have to remember that when we time travel to this weekend.
Yep. Now, as I said last week, just remember to make sure to bring old money with us, because the one way to get us in trouble is to bring 2025 $20 bills with us to 1994.
So old money, not like some dude from a family that's been rich for generations, not that kind of old money.
I mean, that could work too, but no. I picture us going to banks after we finish our time machine going, do you have any like cash bills from like the early 90s and before then even?
Got to be a way to find that, right?
I'm sure there is. We'll go to eBay to buy old money.
There you go.
Oh, Lord. So the show ended with a music video featuring mostly still pictures of all the stars who came through Knoxville. And this is where I wrote, wasn't there supposed to be a 6-person intergender tag this week?
Apparently. Let's see. 1934 $10 bill for $199.70.
That seems excessive.
There's a bunch of $2 bills.
I think maybe our best bet would be to go back in time and rob a bank first.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I can't imagine any problems with that. So 131 down, 69 to go. I will say this, for a show where nothing happened, this was a really good go-home show.
What we should do is we should like use our time travel powers to know when somebody robbed a bank, and then we wait until they rob the bank and leave, and then knock them over the head and steal the money from them.
Well, I was going to say knock them over the head so we could turn them into the cops and get reward money.
Well, you just think things differently than I do, don't you?
Well, I thought that's where you were going, to be honest.
I was just watching one of the new episodes of Beavis and Butthead earlier today,
Hmm.
and I think the episode was called $1 Million Reward, and it was, they see like a fucking reward poster in the post office or whatever,
Hmm.
and they deduce that if you turn somebody in for committing a crime, you get reward money. So then they just go and like try to turn themselves in for crimes.
That 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 sounds like something Beavis and Butthead would do.
Yeah.
Now, the new Beavis and Butthead, do they still do the go to music videos during the show?
Yeah, and they also do like random YouTube and TikTok stuff, and it's some of those are just fucking fantastic. Like some of those I reference. It's actually really good, like the new Beavis and Butthead, and then it's kind of split between like them being young and then like middle aged Beavis and Butthead, and those are really funny.
That's nice. So this isn't just however old Beavis and Butthead were supposed to be in the original series. This is older Beavis and Butthead.
Right. So they did when they did like the reboot, they did the movie, the Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe, and there's some time travel shenanigans. So they end up in the present time, as they were in 1997. So that's
Okay.
like the basics of the show, but then they also like some of the episodes are like just if they had aged naturally, so now they're in like their 40s or whatever.
Okay. I never saw the Do the Universe movie. I only ever saw the original Beavis and Butthead Do America movie.
It's fucking tremendous, and it's actually like a good sequel to that movie.
That's interesting. I'm assuming it's on some sort of streaming service. I may have to
And
check that out.
Paramount Plus.
That sounded right.
Yeah.
Um, so I, I mentioned this to you earlier this week, and I don't know if you'll want to join in with this, but you've reached the end of September in AEW, and so in your timeline, the Acclaimed and the Jurassic Express have gotten back together. And honestly, I've been ranting a bit about this, and I haven't had the chance to do it on the show. And hey, it's still relevant right now because I'm watching Jack Perry wrestle as we speak. Um, and and I just watched Jack Perry lose as we speak. Good timing, by the way. So anyway, so I am not a fan of this thing putting these two teams back together. I will say I at least can kind of accept the Acclaim because I know you haven't gotten too far into this. The thing is, they don't want to be together. And for whatever reason, they're being forced to team together. And that's been the whole point of this is that Anthony Bowens and Max Caster don't want to be together. They're not the Acclaim. They're Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. And like I can almost give this one a free pass just because of the four people I'm going to talk about, Anthony Bowens was floundering the most. Like Max Caster may have been losing every week, but Max Caster was on TV every week doing the best wrestler alive thing and was getting over doing that. And Jack Perry, whether or not you like Jack Perry after the whole CM Punk thing, Jack Perry was doing well doing his thing, and Luchasaurus was doing well doing his thing. And that I'm just like, I get Christian turned babyface, and I get Nick Wayne got injured, so and they didn't want Luchasaurus to just be floundering, for a bit because like him and Kip Sabian were not going to really be pushed as much as a team. But it's like I did not like that they put that team especially back together because they felt it took back years of character development for both guys and just put them back into a situation that we'd pretty much grown out of. It felt more like, well, the Young Bucks need a team to feud with, and so we're going to put the Jurassic Express back together.
Yeah.
and that is Trae speak for I agree with you, Arya. And, but however, I don't have the time, energy, or breath to describe this.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's correct.
Yep. So before we finish things up, we like to tell you what else is happening in the world of wrestling. And here's the thing, not a whole lot. Honestly, all of the main stories of the Observer this week are previews of future shows, including Night of the Legends and G1 Climax 4, which is going to be taking place, I believe, next week. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe, God damn it, I believe this is Mr. August's third win in 4 years, right?
This is what? I'm sorry.
This is Mr. August's third win in 4 years.
Yeah, Chono, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's next week, and I believe it's a 16-man single elimination tournament. And according to Dave, and I didn't really stop to go through it thoroughly, I believe Dave said it's all just, all Japan talent, or all Japan talent, geez. New Japan talent. It would be really weird if it was all Japan talent, but there are no outsiders in the tournament at all.
No, Kevin Nash or Scott Hall?
Nope. Not even a Six-Pac or a Hulk Hogan.
Let's see. Block A was Masahiro Chono, Keiji Muto, Riki Choshu, Yoshiaki Yatsu, Yoshiaki Fujiwara, and Osamu Kido. Block B
was it a block? I thought Dave said it was I thought Dave said it was a single elimination tournament.
It's Dave in Japan in the 90s. And Block B was Power Warrior, Kinsuke Sasaki in his Road Warriors get up. Hiroshi Hase, Shinya Hashimoto, Tatsumi Fujinami, Shiro Koshinaka, and Takayuki Izuka.
And Izuka is there because someone had to do jobs.
He actually,
Not
yeah,
really.
he ended with 0 points.
I
was
really
pretty young
only
here,
knew
though,
that
right?
because I literally pulled up the Wikipedia article as you were reading that off.
Yeah.
So he would have been 28 at this time. He just turned 28.
Yeah, well, not that young. He is the low man on that totem pole, though.
Young-ish.
He okay, like he got a little bit of push in the Japanese Jolly Jacks tag team with Akira Nogami. And then, like, I don't know. He would kind of get a little push at times. And then much later, he did the crazy man thing. And it's fun. What?
What is the name of that team?
JJ Jacks, the Japanese Jolly Jacks.
Okay. I certainly believe you. Oh, Lord. By the way, Jim Crockett ran a TV taping for his most recent attempt to launch a Southern Territory. I didn't think it had a real name. It was just under the NWA banner. And much like the WWN from back in February, this is it. Don't sit and worry about it. But on the taping, among things that happened was Greg Valentine, the MVP of Defunct Championship Wrestling, won the North American title and is the leader of a 3-man heel stable that include Ahmed Johnson and a man named Ron Powers, who is a good-sized guy who, according to Cage Match, won the WCW heavyweight title on May 18th, 1991 from Frank Melson. Upon further review, this WCW was actually Windy City Wrestling. The show drew 1,100 people, which was only 300 paid for $2,700.
Damn. for Greg Valentine and Ahmed Johnson and Ron Powers. Wow, that you think that'd do big business.
This was before Ahmed Johnson tried to get a raise out of his PWI 500 ranking. But then to show you how little news is in wrestling this week, I got 2 Japanese notes. The other note being Dr. Death Steve Williams defeated Mitsuharu Misawa to win the Triple Crown.
Yeah, that was it was the end of Masawa's like long fucking 2-year reign.
There you go. So see, we do discuss Japanese news from 1994. Oh, and by the way, this was as very deep as last week's news about it was. ECW's NWA title tournament on August 27th has been moved from Cherry Hill, New Jersey to the ECW Arena in South Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm sure this is the last time we'll hear about it.
Yeah.
All right. So we actually went almost an hour, which, more than we thought it would be anyway.
Yeah, how about that?
Yep. I guess let me just quickly scan the interwebs to see if there's any breaking news that we should probably mention. Well, since Twitter is taking an hour to load, maybe not. Or I guess Twitter might be broken by how breaking the breaking news is. Okay, nothing apparently. Nothing, and nothing's more. Okay, great. So that's going to do it for this week. Anything else you want to talk about before we go, Trae?
No. That's no. Good enough.
Okay. Apparently, Steve Borden did a dark match on Dynamite.
Good for
Steve
him.
Borden versus Kieran Gray. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode. I want to thank everyone for listening. I hope you all enjoyed the show, and we'll talk to you again in 7 days.
Bye.